Hey guys, thanks so much for being here today. My name is Ashton Gleckman, and today we are going to be doing something a bit different from what we normally do. Normally we do the behind the score, where we'll take Hollywood film scores and we'll sort of break them down. We'll understand how the composer used thematic material, used orchestration, harmony, etc. to sort of help progress the film and help describe the characters, situations, and events that are happening on screen. In the Inside the Mind series, we're going to be taking a look at the various composers and their stylistic approach to the exact same thing. This means we won't be focusing on one specific score, but multiple scores, and analyzing the way for which they use similar techniques in each individual score. Since Alien Covenant is right around the corner and it's coming out this week on the 19th, I wanted to go ahead and take a look at Jed Kurzel and his approach to the world of composition. Jed Kurzel is the composer of films like Assassin's Creed, Macbeth, The Babadook, Snowtown, and Ridley Scott's Alien Covenant. Jed Kurzel is the brother of Justin Kurzel, who is a Hollywood director known for Assassin's Creed, Macbeth, and Snowtown. As film composers, we always strive for the exact same thing, to serve the story, yet we each have our own way of approaching this. Jed Kurzel is a composer whose main focus is to create complex landscapes and paintings for which accompany the film. His music has an interesting emotional depth that I personally haven't come across in any other composer. The way for which he uses repeated figures, dynamics, unstable strings, percussion, and thematic material is impressive, because he isn't a composer that you'll go home humming the tunes to all day. But he is a composer where if you hear one of his pieces of music, will automatically be transported back to the viewing experience, simply because of the unique nature of the film and the gripping, almost hypnotic quality in it. Macbeth introduces an interesting idea. How do we use music to describe instability? To describe a moral disaster which is approaching like a storm on the sea? How do we maintain interest when all that lies beneath the music is one continuing pedal note? And most importantly, how do we transport people musically into a timeless, legendary piece of literature that has stood the centuries of time? Macbeth is a score that doesn't push you to run to the piano and start playing the tunes. It's a score that causes you to think, and that ultimately immerses you in the world of the film, and that also complements the large-scale, intense cinematography that acts as our window into the epic tragedy. Assassin's Creed is but another textural score. Its melodic and musical content isn't exactly memorable, and if you're looking for a wonderfully orchestrated masterpiece, it's not wise to look at Assassin's Creed. But if you're looking for a score that does its job and does it well, then you'd be satisfied. As a matter of fact, the opening track, Young Cow, was the main inspiration for my short Jed Kurzel piece at the beginning of the video, which we'll analyze in just a second. The piece is meant to show how you can take one simple idea and motif and develop it. For the whole entire piece of music, the harmony is the exact same, and the way for which he uses and implements percussion, dynamics, and the main Assassin's Creed movie theme makes it functional. Covenant is a score that maintains Jed's reputation and his use of texture, but further expands on it with melodic and harmonic material. This is mainly the product of being inspired by the original Goldsmith Alien score. His use of the Goldsmith themes was an obvious direction by Ridley Scott, who wanted to return to the aesthetic of the original Alien film after the controversial Prometheus film. So, the first thing that I did is write the main melody, and this is very similar actually to the Assassin's Creed movie theme, and it's just a little bit different as it adds in that F sharp, but here it is. And that continues to crescendo as well. What we also have is we have this whole entire string section that's sort of helping to complement that main melody line. And the interesting thing about London Contemporary Orchestra strings is that Jed Kurzel actually used this orchestra on his recording of the Alien Covenant score. We also have the melody doubled. As you can hear on the main melody line, we have a much more rugged, intense, aggressive tone. On the doubling line, we have a much more soft timbre. So as you can hear there, we actually have a percussion build, which is a low drum from Hans Zimmer Percussion. And that's sort of supposed to progress us into the next section, which is a much more intense, rounded section in terms of the sound. Listening to the Assassin's Creed score, his use of percussion is quite extensive, and he also tends to use a lot of these types of things. He also likes to use them in like a very, very fast manner, especially on the action scenes in Assassin's Creed. So as we get into the next section, what you'll automatically notice is the one patch that was actually doubling our main melody is now actually become our main melody. And it's a much more softer, less aggressive, and less intense tone, and accompanied by the high-pitched percussion. Then we get into our next section, which is pretty much pure chaos. What we have is we have some pretty aggressive percussion, and we have our strings, which also bring back the main melody line in both the main melody patch and in the doubling patch. So up above the orchestra, we have this synthetic pulse that's being carried by the Moog. Our percussion alone sounds like this. So of course you can hear it's just big, aggressive, bombastic drums. So when it comes to the use of percussion, I think Jed Kurzel is right up there with composers like Junkie XL and Hans Zimmer. The way for which he just sort of slaps you in the face with epic percussion is pretty intense, and I think it contributed massively to the emotional response in the film. Alrighty, so there's my little look at Jed Kurzel and his approach to composition and the world of film scoring. Thanks so much for joining me again, guys. We have a lot of cool stuff going on this summer. I'll be in New York City and LA all summer doing some different things, having some collaborations, workshops, internships, stuff like that. So if you guys want to meet up or anything like that, or perhaps you guys want to set up a meeting, I love to do something like that. And I'll try to vlog and I'll try to sort of stay active out there. And so I really do look forward to that. There's a whole lot of cool stuff coming this year, and I look forward to sharing it with all of you guys. So again, thank you guys so much for the support, and I'll see you guys soon.